Hello everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph and today is part 2 of my larch, which is the pearl grey larch, which we got from, yes, the local garden centre. Couldn't help myself with it. It's an unusual variety, Japanese dwarf variety, slow growing. As I say, it's part 2. The first one went out on, what day was it? Wednesday I think it is, and now Sunday, and this is part 2. I keep saying it's part 2 because it's part 2. Part 2 is the repot. We did this lovely little wire up, but I've not finished with my wiring. I'm still not convinced on the whole shape of it, and I think one more little wiring session will rectify that situation, and I will show you what we're going to do in just a second. I'm going to put some wire on it and we're going to get it in one of these lovely pond baskets in the repot. Now the other concern I've got is once I do wire it up, my idea is, because I do like this as the front, and I'm going to utilize this as I did mention in my previous video, but I'm going to sort of exaggerate it, and I'm going to bring the straight section, I'm going to continue to move it from the straight section into more of a angled, so the whole tree is sort of leaning that way. And the concern I've got is if it's leaning, the pot is going to be more over here, the tree is going to go in a continuous lean that way, so it might fall over, which means I'm just going to brace it with some bricks either side of the pot, just holding it down while it's on my display. So anything I can do really, because these are pretty light, I haven't got a heavier pot. I mean, I can put some bricks on top of it, but it'll look unsightly. I've got nothing else to strap it down to my non-existent benches right now. So it's just going to be strapped on the floor with some bricks, just holding it around, making sure that it doesn't move. So the idea, because it's in soil at the moment, which is heavy, the idea is to continue with this flow. It's going to get the movement, and then this trunk, instead of going straight down, is going to try and bend it this way slightly, so the whole tree is on a nice angle, slant style. That's the idea anyway. So got a bit of wire, I'm going to throw it on, the trunk, and then once we've got it out of this awful soil, I will try and put that little bit of movement in before we repot it and work on the roots. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, all wired. Look at that, it's on. I've got a little bit left at the bottom, so now I can give it a little bit of movement once it's come to repot. Hopefully that will hold in position once we spring it out, push it in, contract it or twist it, and give it that little bit of movement that it so needs, or we can get it into shape. And I should be able to pull that down a little bit and move it. So let's get out this soil. Excuse me, let's get out this soil, have a great look at the roots. Right, so this being the first repot of the year, and a nice early one out of that, so let's make it a good one. Start by getting rid of all these weeds on top, and I'm hoping with the rest of the larches I've had so far, the root system, there's my marker for the old front, so I'm hoping the root system on this one isn't as bad as the rest of the root that we've had on the other larches, because they've been pretty bad so far. And there we go. So as you can see, not very steady in this soil, as you'd expect from a pretty poor soil. You know, that's why we have a good bonsai soil. It allows good root development, whereas a normal soil, you don't get such good root fine development. But so far we've got a couple of good nice fine roots. Just up top you can see we've got a decent sized roots here, some big ones coming in. So what I'll do as I start going through this, as I get into the soil as normal, I will come back and then we will check it out as we remove some of this soil. So be back with you in just a second, folks. After washing the roots out, you can see some of them up top, like this one here, grows upwards. I can show you. It grows across, can't see very well, grows across but then grows upwards. I'm gonna have to take that, and then at the bottom here I've got everything that grows downwards, and then here it grows upwards as well. But I've got what basically is a big lump at the bottom, and it grows and curls around. So I'm gonna have to make a decision of trying to find my root plane, and I think if I take this one off here, I can try and grow a root plane from somewhere here. If I move this one just out of the way, I've got a load that grows from here. I can try and grow something from here, maybe chop the rest of this off at the bottom. I've got this section here, I could start on this one and this one, and then try and develop everything else as a flat radial plane here. I think that's what we're going to do from there on out. So let me just get my snips and we'll start making some headway. First thing we'll do is we'll take this one at the top, just here. Now I'm not going to go in and make the neatest of cuts just yet. Just going to try and get the biggest bits out, and then I'll come in and neaten everything up. So this one here, this is the big one that goes all the way around. We're just on about, and it goes off here. I can get in here from this angle, but if I move everything so you can see, yeah, just there. So it's popping up from here. You can't see where it's coming from because the rest of the roots are growing acrosswards. So I'm just going to come in and try and snip this off and make it the best angle for me, which is by turning the tree here, coming in, sliding there neatly, and removing that again. Now I've got all these roots that are on top, so again I think the easiest thing to do is just try and pull the slivers that are on top. I've got another one, another two here. You can see this little bunch here, they grow from on top. Again, I'm just going to move the tree on an angle where I can get in and just make some simple cuts. Again, I just need to swap out to my scissors. Anything that's on top, I'm just going to come in and just remove there. Try and neaten this section up. And we'll neaten this section up here as well, where we just were. If I turn the tree around, now I know it's pretty difficult for you to see, but I'm trying to just go around, trim everything in the neatest possible. So I've got this big one here as well, it grows up. I'll take that one off. It grows up and outwards, this whole section here. Let's come in and try and remove that as well. Right, so now you can actually see this bit here girdles it. So that, if I can show you, so this goes all the way through, goes through there. Try and move this out of the way. It goes all the way through there as well, if you can see it, and then comes through, and it starts from the bottom just there. So I need to come in and snip all that, and I'd like to cut all the way through and just remove all this, I think. So I've got to come in with a set of other snips just here. It's not the easiest thing to do, and it's not the best angle for you to see it, but I think I might have got it. Is it going to come out in one piece? There we go. So you can see how that was curled round. If I get you in there, there you go. That's the cut I made, and it was curled through. And now these roots grow upwards. We can come in and take those ones out as well. Cut that section off. Just there. Sorry, my arm's in the way a little bit. I'm trying to support the tree. Obviously, the tree is top heavy. Okay, it's not too bad now. I can actually see into that section. If I move these other roots out of the way. So we've got a root plane just at the bottom here. We could actually work with if we wanted to. Oh, we've got this section and this one here. So I think what I'll do is I will just clean this stub up here as best as I can. I don't really want to take too much off in one go. That gives me that. So this is essentially a tap root. There we go. Right, that's a lot, but it gives me a choice in root section now. I've got this part and I've got one slightly above it, which I'm probably going to, which I will hope to start from rather than this section, but this will keep the tree alive a little bit longer. And we've got this bit and this bit just here. I'm getting a dead arm. I'm trying to keep the tree stabilized. So I need to take this one out as well, actually. Too high up. Right, sorry, my arm was in the way. But to stabilize the tree, it was a must. Now, hopefully, I haven't took too much roots off, but it gives me a choice of two planes there. Hopefully, I'm developing from this one, or this should keep the tree alive long enough for it to do that. Now, I have just took quite a bit of roots off, but it was girdling. As you can see, we've took all that off, and we just got this bit of root off. Now, if I change the direction, well, if I change the angle of the camera, we should be able to now work on the trunk. Now we want the tree positioned on an angle like this. What was it? Well, it was the front. The front was here. Was it? Let me just double check. The front, we were going for there. So that was the front for me, which for you is somewhere there. So now I'm going to have to just straighten this out. Try and bend this whole tree as much as I can. So for me, I know it's give it more of a straight angle, but I want to lean the tree twisting trees like this. Give it a lean. That's a bit better. So for me, the planting angle is something there. It's not got too much of a bendy curl in it now. It's eradicated it a little bit. Now, am I able to put some sort of movement in this trunk different ways? So if I'm planting it up on an angle, it's going to look somewhat like that. I think that's a bit better. Just trying different movements in it. I don't want the tree to be completely straight, but I don't want it to be completely bent. I also don't want it to look unnatural. So when I pot it up, the tree's going to be there, that sort of angle. And now so we're just repotting this now. I've got it on the right angle, twisted it slightly, and I've got these tie downs either side ready to go on the tree just to hold it in position once we do get it in the right position in the pot, because I've not got anything to tie it in the pot other than these. So this is what it's going to look like. I'll just get some more soil. Give it a nice jiggle in the pot, make sure everything's nicely held in place. Now I'm hoping those roots will sustain it. And then this tie down wire that I've got, I'm just going to snip some of the ends off because it's a bit long. Now what have I done with my snips? So I've got one side just holding it in place here, and then this one just going to bring it up. Now again, I've got plenty of wire on the end of this one. I'm going to take some of this off a lot just to make it easier for me to get it around the tree. Just going to hold this in position just here. Just like that. So once they're held in, they don't need to be super tight, they're just guiding, just holding it in position in case anything knocks it over. So there we go, just giving it a little couple of turns. Get rid of this excess. To really do with a proper set of snips, because them wire cutters are blunt. And then if we want to tighten it up properly, we just get chopstick in between, give it a twist, and then that'll tighten it up. Same on this side, chopstick in between, give it a twist. Just tighten it down a little bit, secure it in position. And then all I've got to do is just go in, have a look, and see if I need to readjust any of the branches that we may have now repositioned. Now, because of the angle I've just repositioned it at, the tree does look a little bit more like an S shape. I just need to untighten this a tiny little bit. Just give it that bit more spring on this side. There we go. So the tree looks a little bit more of an S shape going round, but that's not an issue. No problem at all. I don't mind that. What it's done, it's got rid of that really long, horrible straight section that we bought it in. You know, that is the grafted tree. It's two different trees. Remember that. We've got this nasty graft here. We'll have to maybe do something about that later on in life. So as I say, I just need to go in and look. So maybe need to reposition this slightly just here, and then possibly this one as well needs to now be turned that way. So this branch now becomes a back branch. This one now comes down. Over there. And I think we just need to bring these in. Doesn't need to be quite as long. And the same on this side as well. Probably the same on this branch over at the rear. That doesn't need to be as long now. So I'm just going to come in and snip this one all the way back. That I'll snip it back to there. Same with this one. Now I've watered that in. It's all wired up, it's strapped down nicely. As long as I haven't made a giant mistake taking too much off the roots, this should pop out lovely in the spring and it should do really well. So I like the way everything's rewired. It's got a nice shape to it. I've adjusted some of the branches just to get it in the right position, and I think you'll agree the tree looks an awful lot better in this position. It looks nice from all angles. And that is the front just there, facing you. Just have to move it back a little bit. You can see it properly. There you go. So just imagine it greening out come spring. As I say, as long as I've not messed up taking too much root off, I hope I haven't, they should do really well. All finished, all wired up. I think you'll agree, it looks a hell of a lot better now. Slight variation on the way we did it. We just give it a bit of wire and it's all potted up and it gives it a nice, just look at that, nice little angle. So that's the front there, and it gives it a nice slanted angle. Less of that stupid round circular motion. It is more of an S shape now, but I think it works better. So hopefully, as I say, I'm a bit concerned I might take a little bit too much root off, but if it works, we've got ourselves a lovely bit of tree. You know what they say, you've got to go big, go bold to do right. And I'm hoping this one works out really well because I've got a really nice tree in development going. So if you like this one, please do give me a thumbs up. The algorithm loves that. Push the channel out to more people. And don't forget to subscribe because a lot of you guys haven't really subscribed yet and I would like you to have you on my community. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Oh, if you've not checked out part 1, please do because this is part 2. Have a good day everyone. Thanks for watching.